Welcome to Independence TV, live from Schauburg, Karlsruhe. We are talking with filmmakers who are presenting their films in our film festival. And now I have with me Tuulia Soininen from Finland, and today she screened their film To Be Touched. And for all the people out there who don't know the content, what's your film about?
The film is an experimental dance film. It deals with the subject of consent and touch, especially from the perspective of a young woman.
Okay. And how did you have this idea to make this movie?
Well, we were a group of three people, three dancers, and living in a city, like in an urban environment, as a young woman, you have quite a lot of experiences of consent and touch, and not necessarily the most positive ones. So in a way, being a young woman, that was something that we kind of felt very strongly about, that we might have something to say about this subject. So it did very much arise from our own experiences with perhaps negative experiences and some traumas even.
And what's the opportunity of dance movies to show these emotions, these conflicts?
Well, for me, I mainly make dance films. That's mainly my genre in film. But for me, why dance? It is a way of expressing things without words, and sometimes all the things cannot be expressed with words. It's something that's a bit broader. It's perhaps something that is more than just language, that can be understood by a lot of people universally through just bodily empathy, just feeling it. And that's why I feel like as a storytelling form, the dance is it's quite universal, because it doesn't have a language of words that you need to understand, and it brings different kind of opportunities and for the storytelling to be,
Okay. And you're not alone here in Karlsruhe. You're here with some team members. Who made this film with you?
Yeah. I'm here with Sanni Laine and Tiia Laitinen. They are both dance artists, and we created the choreography in collaboration, and then they were the dancers that we see on screen on the film.
Yeah. And how do you realize this choreography for this very difficult topic?
Yeah, well, first we received a residency from Pirkanmaa Dance Center, which is our regional dance center. So that made it possible for us to spend 2 weeks creating quite intensely together in a space. And there we started, we had different exercises regarding touch. And we were exploring quite many different layers of it. And then we were kind of narrowing it down all the time, because it's like a 7-minute long film, so you can't show like the whole process that we had. You had to kind of choose really bits and pieces, and then we kind of started also combining the element of consent, which for me it was only possible because we are close friends, we know each other well, and we trust each other, and that allowed us to be very open in the process and to trust each other and to share things a lot. And that was and during the residency also we had the camera with us all the time, so we experienced a lot with the different locations and with time lapse and with reversing the time and slow motion and these kind of things, that the camera was all the time in the studio with us within the making of the choreography. So it was very much integrated within the actual making of it.
And how do you plan it? Do you have a storyboard, and with the focus to the editing process later? How do you work these different scenes and bring them together? How do you plan it?
For me personally, what it always starts from is the choreography, and from that it starts becoming the choreography for the camera, and for that I do create storyboards. It depends on what I'm exactly working on and what kind of budget, what is the schedule and everything. But usually I make a storyboard of some kind. Maybe sometimes it's just a list, sometimes it's drawn very into detail, and I visit like locations beforehand and we photograph. This time we had the chance we visited a lot of locations and did some like test shoots there. But from there, of course, comes the editing process, which is a really big part of it. And for me, it's a choreographic process, because it's a process of rhythm and time and how do you place things together, how it goes with sound and music and composition. And for me, it's a very choreographic process, that as well. But yeah, we did have a storyboard, and the story we knew where it's going, but within the editing table, of course, there were like some changes made, and then we had a sound designer who did added another layer to it, and he had very unique ideas, which I love, and they were a lot of it brought a lot more layers into it that you can read from the film if you watch it multiple times, I think.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and how long did the production process need?
This was quite a quick one. I think we did it in half a year. Okay. So it was quite
fast, yeah.
Yeah, it was fast. This was also, to be said, this was a zero budget film. It was but for me, this was the first film that I was a part of as more of in a director, choreographer role as well. And that was why it was important to make the first film, which made it possible for me. Now I premiered my second film this year, and I feel like having made this film made it possible that I got funding for my second one.
Oh,
so
that's fine.
That was
great.
We took the risk of making it from our own pockets, and I think it paid off.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit more about this second film. What's about? Also a dance movie,
Yeah, it is a dance film. Well, it is also a very feminist film, and this film also was a feminist film, and all the art I make is rather feminist, and the feminist voice comes through quite a lot. But this film, the new one, it's called Looking for Lowie. It focuses on the dance and technology pioneer Lowie Fuller, and also what is the role of a woman in the working world and the inequality that is in the figures and numbers that still are present today. And just I want to also mention about that film, we had 30 people working on it, and all were women and non-binary, and that was something that I wanted to raise the issue of equality in the film industry. I don't know, it is a problem globally, but also in Finland, that women and non-binary filmmakers are very much underrepresented.
It's the same in Germany.
Yeah.
We have the Marlisa Foundation, and they focus these questions about it. And so we have the Female Award at the Independent Days to strengthen female filmmakers.
Yeah,
it's very important, I think. And so we are very excited to see this movie in the future when it's finished. So you have to send it to the Independent Days.
I promise I will.
Okay, that's great. So thank you very much, Tuulia, for these insights of your work. Good luck with all your work, and see you hopefully at the next Independent Days with this new film. We will see. So that's it for this edition of Independence TV. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.